We'll go to that top story, and it is emerging that the current food shortage in the country may have been deliberately generated. This becoming apparent after Agriculture Secretary Willie Bett and his Principal Secretary, Dr. Richard Lesiampe, appeared before the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture. The CS blamed farmers and millers for hoarding close to 10 million tons of maize in anticipation of higher prices. Yusuf Ibrahim now reports.
The politics of grain in the country occasioned by the high prices of foodstuff is what informed the decision by the Parliamentary Committee on Agriculture to summon both Agriculture Cabinet Secretary Willie Bett and his PS Richard Lesiampe, two individuals who are now on the spotlight and under fire to answer hard questions, among them alleged underhanded deals that resulted in what some of the MPs described as an artificial food shortage in the country, as well as the recent maize imports into the country.
The private sector have started importing, but what we realized, because of the high demand, even the imported grain would still sell at a higher price locally. And that is why the government had to come in again, step in to subsidize.
And with that, the CS opened a Pandora's box as he faced an avalanche of questions from the members of the committee, who asked him to explain, among other things, the glaring hindsight from the Ministry over the food crisis, as well as details of the Mexico maize imports.
We are now using taxpayers' money to subsidize the same millers, and yet the common and the consumer is suffering. So that is my only issue, Chairman. I just want us also so that if we are helping Kenyans and are supporting Kenyans, let us look at the margin the miller is also getting. That's all I'm asking.
In total, how much did they pay these millers? And how have they come to calculate now our farmers within our country will now be paid at 3,600? How did they reach to that figure? Yet the miller is getting over 6,000 from the taxpayers.
Millers are the ones who have created all these artificial shortages, and that is the reason why we were proposing to make regulations that are going to protect Kenyans in terms of regulating the millers from artificial order.
It then turned into a blame game session, with the CS accusing farmers and millers of hoarding maize, while the committee members did not hesitate to blame the ministry for what they said was a lukewarm approach towards the crisis on hand.
I was very quick to point out it is not in the interest of government to just import. We wanted to exhaust the availability of any grain in the country, because our survey had indicated that some large-scale farmers and the traders were still holding some grain.
During his submission, the CS was required by way of documentation to reveal the names of all the millers that allegedly ordered the imports, the quantity and type of maize imported, as well as details on how much millers were paid by the government in form of subsidy, among other things. All these after some of the members realized that the weaver was suspect.
How much do you want me to repeat? I say it for all the importers that have mentioned their name. We want all those documentations to come before this committee before the end of the day, so that Kenyan can know how much were they subsidized.
The documents in question are yet to be produced by the CS and his officials, who requested for time up until Thursday next week, when the committee will resume its sittings.
Honorable Anyonyi, if you have maize, we told you the last time we were buying at 2,300, you refused. We gave you 2,500, you refused. We gave you 3,000, you refused. We have got depots in every part of our county, of our country. And therefore, what we have now is 3,600. Please bring the maize, we shall buy it.
The food shortage in the country, which has now metamorphosized into what is now being referred to as the politics of grain, is slowly turning into yet another scam if the glaring questions raised by the members of the Agriculture Committee fail to receive sufficient answers from the ministry officials. Yusuf Ibrahim, KTN News.